Hey guys, Ramon Blaze here. Today we're going to talk about the difference between a glute dominant exercise and the difference between a quad dominant exercise. Now I would have spoken about this before when I demoed Bulgarian split squats for you guys, but it is possible that you can end up turning almost any movement leg wise into a glute dominant or posterior chain dominant exercise. Posterior chain being hamstrings and glutes and your calves, the back of your calves, by simply just pushing your hips back a lot more than you generally would. So if we were to talk about squats, if we wanted to make a squat, a normal squat, into a more glute dominant exercise, all we would do is we're here, we start, we hinge the hip back. So this would actually be our start position. Alright? You could either have your load in front, you have your load across your back, you load however you choose. But we're here, we try to keep vertical shins for this particular movement to make it glute dominant. So we're here and we keep pushing the glutes back as we go down. If we look at my legs, we can see we have a nice straight line happening with my shins, and then we come back up. Alright? So we're maintaining that hinge first and pushing those hips back if we wanted to make this a more glute dominant exercise. Okay? Now if we wanted to make it a more quad dominant exercise, we would have a lot more motion of the knees going forward, especially past the toe, so that angle of the shin would not be straight anymore. We would actually have a tilt forward. So we took the same squat and we decided to make it quad dominant. What we would do from here is we would look to stay as upright as possible, and we're going to let the knees travel forward as we squat. Now because of my several ankle injuries in life, I have some very horrible ankle mobility that I'm always trying to work on. So I'm going to use these stoppers here just to help me demonstrate this a lot better. So we want to drive those knees forward as we squat and stay upright. Alright, so you see my shin angle is definitely different to how it was before. Before I would have been here, and now I'm driving my knee forward in order to get more quad activation into the squat. Alright, so a recap, if we wanted it to be glute dominant, we go vertical shin and we push the hips back as far as we can handle. What will happen is that the back ends up tilting forward as you perform the exercise. But if you want to make it more quad dominant, then the reverse happens. Your back stays as straight as possible, but your shin angle changes and it decreases so that we have a tilt with the shins, and we try to stay upright and keep the knees going forward as we go down. Okay? That has been the difference between a squat, a quad dominant squat, and a glute dominant squat. Okay guys?